So I just got done watching the Redrum music video by 21 Savage, and watching throughout the video, there's a bunch of really simple effects that are done in the video, and it kind of made me realize that like effects don't need to be hard. Like I'm gonna download this video, bring it into Premiere Pro, and recreate 3 of my favorite effects from that music video in Premiere Pro within a few minutes. And it's just gonna like go to show that like you don't have to overcomplicate effects sometimes. There's effects in this music video that they could have spent a lot more time on, but I don't think it would have made it that much different. And I'll go and show you kind of what I'm talking about. So I have the redrum music video pulled up in Premiere Pro, and I wanna show you 3 of my favorite effects from this music video and show how simple you can actually make some of these effects without having to spend hours on one singular effect, doing like the minimum, but also still getting the maximum results, because that's a huge part of like music videos, is being efficient and being able to make effects consistently throughout your music video and not having to spend an hour on one part of your music video. So I wanna show the techniques to be able to create something like that. So simple zoom through transitions like that can be done within like literally a minute. So I want to show like how simple, if you make something clean, you can make it done really quickly. So what I would do to get a transition is just find something to zoom through. You can see he's kind of making a circle here with the gang sign. So what we're going to do is just zoom in to like 400%, something like that. Duplicate the clip, cut it right here like that. So it's just 1 frame long. Right click on it and go to add frame hold. And now when you drag it out, it's going to be that image for however long you drag it out. So let's go ahead and do like 5, 6 frames, something like that. And then go to opacity. Let's click on the mask tool and just mask around his hand. And turn down that feather. And you can see it masked out where we want the hole to actually be. So to change that, just go to invert, simple as that. And now, if we go back to fit, when we play it, we don't have the transition. But to get the transition, if you don't want to overcomplicate it, add motion blur, all this stuff, all you have to do, keyframe the position, scale, don't overcomplicate it. Literally just zoom through the hole. And you don't want to go all the way through. You kind of just want like whatever you're zooming through to be on the edges, because the final frame will just like cut it out. So let's go right to there, see what that looks like. You don't even have to ease the keyframes if you don't want. Boom. It's really that simple. Like effects are not hard if you don't make them hard. And this next effect I want to do is like this match cut, kind of like paper stacking effect. And the thing that's crazy about this is like they did it in a way where it's like kind of imperfect. There's like mess ups in here. Like you can see the clip behind it. Like they didn't fully scale it, and there's black bars here, but like it's done so quickly that unless you go frame by frame like I'm doing, you won't even notice. So let's go ahead and create something like that. All they're doing here is match cutting 2 different clips of 2 different people on their face. So if you want to do that, you can do that with like stop signs, you can do that with cars, you can do that with faces, you can do it with pretty much anything. But let's just, for the sake of tutorial, do the same thing that they did. So let's find some faces that we can match cut to. So go ahead, find a face, name it one, import it back into your project, and just take a screenshot. And there we are. Let's do one here. Try to do like 5. I think 5 would be good. Let's go ahead and drag in our first image. And then all we want to do is just match cut another clip to it. So let's go ahead and drag this image in. And an easy way to do that is turn the opacity down to like 30, 50%, something like that. And then just kind of scale up your clip to match this clip. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. The way they did it in the video was like very like quick. So if you just have something kind of similar, it should work. Gonna scale that, and then you can kind of cut it however you want. And to do that, I'm just gonna bring back up the opacity, and you can just split it wherever you want. So let's do like, you could do one straight line, or you could do zigzags, whatever you really want. It's a pretty simplistic effect. I'm just gonna leave the feather on for now. And you can see how that's like not even like that good of a match cut. But when we introduce other stuff, it'll be completely fine. Scaling up our next clip. And you can see how this guy's not even the face in the same way, but it's still gonna do a similar effect anyway. 21 Savage in there. Only the Premiere Pro mask thing was like good. There we are. So then once you've kind of matched up a few cuts, basically just matching very, very quickly. Like I just went through and just like kind of match cut. You can change the mask. You can see how I kind of like did 2 different masks with the same image, and it looks like all right like that, but kind of the sauce is adding like that paper texture. So from my Ultimate Texture Bundle V3, the paper collage pack, I'm just gonna go to this blank sheet and do clean wash, drag that on here. I'm literally just gonna use the exact same piece of paper the whole entire time and just scale it down. And until that first mask comes, I'm not gonna do anything. And then I'm just gonna take this outline and just line it up with the mask here. So there. And when it cuts here, I'm gonna bring up the paper to this clip up here. And just cut the piece of paper every single time the mask kind of changes and just match it up. You can either put the paper on the top or the bottom, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going cutting and then kind of just rotating the paper. However, you can use different style paper or whatever just for efficiency. It's not going to be that much of a difference depending on what you use. And then just like that, you have a very simple transition. Now lastly, I want to show like this like posterized time, kind of like frame by frame. It's almost like OGG inspired kind of effect, like right here. See how it's like choppy and there's like match cuts, but there's also like a lack of like frame rate. You can do that really easily if you just find a clip with like some motion. So I think the clip right before it's like perfect for it. So let's go right here, cut it, and then just find a clip that has motion, kind of like that. We'll cut it there. And then just adding posterized time is gonna change a lot. Bring it down like 4, 8, something like that. Depends on what kind of frame rate you're looking for. I'm wondering what somebody help. So tween back for your help, please. I think that looks good, but a thing you can do in combination with that is also go to time remapping, go to speed, and then just like add a point, and let's make it like 200 speed. So it kind of goes normal speed, and then fast. And actually I want to change the frame rate to up to like 8. I think it looks a little bit better. Render that out. So tween back for your help, please. And it has that like posterized time kind of looking effect. And then I just want to show how to get creative with it. So I made the clip back to original, and I'm just gonna cut right here, and using my essential effects bundle, there's a lot of things in there that like really match the vibe and aesthetic of this music video. So if you like this aesthetic of the music video, want to save time, support the channel, all that stuff, I'll have everything linked down below. But my low shutter laggy preset looks really sick. I'll drag that onto this part here, that second part, and then on the first part, let's drag on shutter. And the presets are just a combination of like values and stuff that I like. It's like posterized time, echo, blurs, flashes, all that stuff. So when we go ahead and render that by just dragging on 2 presets, you get a pretty fire effect. And then you can even get more creative with it. Duplicate the clip, go here, make it last like a frame, do a mask very similar to how they did, and then just scale that up. And you can kind of just match it however you want, just so it looks a little bit bigger. Have that last like a few frames, maybe a frame. And that's very similar to how they did here, where they just kind of match 2 different colors or vibes of it by just making the mask a little bit bigger. You could drag on like some HLS and just change the hue, the lightness, or even just the saturation. Playing around with like just speed ramping and stuff. So we nest this last clip, change the speed to, I don't know, something like 200. Like effects don't really need to be hard. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can just do these things. Like once you understand basic techniques, you have presets made that you like or you get from your favorite creator, you're able to actually go ahead and make effects quickly. And they don't have to be perfect. They just have to like, kind of like trick the viewer while you're watching it. Like as you saw in this music video, there were like imperfect match cuts and stuff, but it still looked good. And until I went frame by frame and actually dissected it, you weren't even able to tell. That's pretty much it for the video. I'll have all my packs and presets linked down below. If you liked the video, drop a like. Be sure to be subscribed because more videos like this are coming. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. Peace.